Hey, warrior. Yeah, you. Right now, sitting there scrolling through videos, looking for something to fill that void inside you. I see you, and I know exactly what you're feeling. That restlessness, that quiet panic that whispers in the silence of your room when everyone else is asleep. You're searching for something, aren't you? Something you can't quite name. Something that feels just out of reach. Purpose, power, peace. The life you know you're supposed to be living, but somehow keeps slipping through your fingers like sand. You wake up every morning and you go through the motions. Coffee, phone, work, distraction, sleep, repeat. And somewhere deep inside, there's a voice that screams at you. A voice that says you're wasting your days, that you're capable of so much more, that the person you see in the mirror isn't the person you were meant to become. But you silence that voice, don't you? You drown it out with notifications, with entertainment, with anything that keeps you from facing the truth that you're not living. You're just existing, floating through days that blur into weeks, weeks that blur into years, until one day you wake up and realize you've given your entire life to things that don't matter. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, emperor of Rome, sat alone in his tent during war and wrote these words: "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Think about that. The emperor of the world, reminding himself that death is always one breath away. That time is the one thing we can never get back. And here you are, scrolling through distractions, postponing your transformation, waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. But let me tell you something that will shake you awake. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The motivation you're waiting for won't arrive. That spark you think you need. It's already inside you. It's been there all along, buried under years of comfort, excuses, and fear. The ancient Stoics understood something that modern society has completely forgotten. They understood that suffering is inevitable, but misery is a choice. That external circumstances don't control you unless you give them that power. That everything you want, everything you're searching for, exists on the other side of discipline, pain, and radical self-honesty. You see, the world has sold you a lie. They told you that happiness comes from accumulation. More money, more pleasure, more comfort, more validation. So you chase these things, and when you get them, you feel empty. Because deep down, you know the truth. You know that the human soul wasn't designed for comfort. It was designed for challenge, for growth, for the fierce pursuit of something greater than temporary pleasure. Your ancestors didn't survive by seeking comfort. They survived by embracing hardship, by walking into the storm instead of hiding from it. And that same warrior blood runs through your veins, right now, waiting to be awakened. So here's what's going to happen. Right here, right now, you're going to make a choice. You can close this video and go back to your comfortable numbness, back to the slow death of distraction and mediocrity. Or you can stay, you can listen. You can let these ancient words pierce through the fog and remind you of who you really are. Not the weak, distracted version of yourself that the world has created, but the warrior that's been sleeping inside you, waiting for this exact moment to rise. This message is not for everyone. I need to be clear about that right now. This is not for the people who are content with their comfortable cage. This is not for those who want to keep making excuses, keep blaming circumstances, keep waiting for life to hand them what they want. If you're looking for quick fixes, motivation that fades by tomorrow, or someone to tell you it's okay to stay weak, this video is not for you. But if there's still a fire burning inside you, even if it's just an ember, even if you've almost given up on it, then stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you has the power to completely transform your reality. In this video, you're going to discover 10 ancient Stoic rules that the greatest minds in history used to master themselves, to attract everything they wanted, and to live with unshakable inner power. These aren't just philosophical ideas. These are weapons, tools forged in the arena of real life, tested through wars, hardships, and the brutal honesty of men who refused to lie to themselves. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. These weren't armchair philosophers. They were warriors, advisors to emperors, men who lived and died by these principles. And now, these same principles are yours, but only if you're ready to apply them. Only if you're ready to stop being a passenger in your own life and become the architect of your destiny. So take a breath, silence your phone, focus, because the next few minutes could change everything. Not because I'm going to give you some magical secret, but because I'm going to remind you of what you already know deep down, what you've been running from, what you've been too afraid to face, the truth about who you are and what you're capable of when you finally stop lying to yourself and start living by your own code. Let's begin. Number 1. Control only what you can control and release everything else. Right now, at this very moment, you're carrying weight that doesn't belong to you. You're stressing about things you cannot change, other people's opinions, the past, the future, events outside your influence, and it's crushing you. It's draining your energy, stealing your focus, poisoning your peace. You lie awake at night replaying conversations, imagining worst-case scenarios, worrying about what others think of you. And it's all completely useless, completely powerless. Because here's the brutal truth. You control almost nothing in this world, but you control everything that matters. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became one of history's greatest philosophers, said this: "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Do you understand what that means? It means that right now, in this moment, you have absolute power. Not over the world, not over other people, but over yourself, your thoughts, your reactions, your choices, your discipline. That's your kingdom. And most people give that kingdom away every single day. They hand their power to circumstances, to other people, to things they can't control, and then they wonder why they feel helpless. Think about how you spend your mental energy. Someone cuts you off in traffic and you let it ruin your morning. A comment on social media from a stranger you'll never meet affects your entire mood. Your boss has a bad day and suddenly you question your worth. You're giving your power away like it's worthless, like your inner peace is something anyone can just take from you whenever they want. But a Stoic builds a fortress around what matters. A Stoic says, "You can control the world around me, but you cannot control what's within me, my response, my integrity, my discipline, my mind." Imagine living like that. Imagine walking through chaos with complete calm, because you know that nothing external can touch what's internal unless you allow it. Someone insults you? That's their character revealing itself, not a reflection of your worth. You fail at something. That's data, feedback, a lesson, not a definition of who you are. The economy crashes, you adapt, you rebuild, you find another way. because you're not fragile. You're not dependent on perfect conditions. You're grounded in what you control. Here's what this looks like in real life. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you let the world flood your mind with its noise, you ask yourself, what is within my control today? And the answer is always the same. Your effort, your attitude, your discipline, your response to whatever happens. That's it. That's your focus. Everything else, you acknowledge it. You deal with what you must, but you don't give it your inner peace. You don't let it steal your power. The average person wakes up reactive, defensive, worried about 1,000 things they can't control. The Stoic wakes up proactive, focused, invested only in what they can influence. And that difference, that single shift in focus, changes everything. Because when you stop wasting energy on what you can't change, you suddenly have unlimited energy for what you can. Your discipline becomes sharper. Your goals become clearer. Your mind becomes quieter. And people notice. They see someone who doesn't get rattled, someone who stays calm in the storm, someone who attracts success because they're not desperately chasing it. They're building it from within. So right now, I want you to do something. I want you to comment below. I control my response. I release what I cannot change. Say it. Write it. Let it become part of you. Because this is where your transformation begins, not in controlling the world, but in mastering yourself. Number 2, master your desires, or they will master you. Let me ask you something. What do you want? Really want? Money? Success? Love? Respect? Power? Now let me ask you the real question. Why do you want it? Is it because it will genuinely make you better, stronger, more aligned with your purpose? Or is it because you've been conditioned to believe that once you have it, you'll finally feel complete? Here's the hard truth that nobody wants to hear. Most of the things you think you want, you don't actually want. You've been programmed to want them by advertising, by social media, by a culture that profits from your dissatisfaction. Seneca understood this 2,000 years ago when he wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Read that again. The problem isn't what you lack. The problem is the endless craving. The belief that happiness is always one more thing away, one more purchase, one more achievement, one more relationship. And so you chase, you consume, you acquire. And the satisfaction lasts for what? A few days, maybe a week. And then the emptiness returns, and you're back to chasing again. You're on a treadmill, running faster and faster, but never actually arriving, because the destination keeps moving. You get the promotion and immediately start wanting the next one. You buy the car and immediately start looking at a better one. You achieve the goal, and instead of celebrating, you feel nothing, because your desires have trained you to always want more, to never be satisfied, to never be enough. And that, my friend, is a prison without walls that you carry with you everywhere you go. But here's the power move. Here's what separates the Stoic from the slave. The Stoic doesn't eliminate desire. That's impossible. We're human. But the Stoic directs desire, controls it, uses it. Instead of wanting everything, the Stoic chooses carefully. What aligns with virtue? What builds character? What serves the life I'm trying to create? Everything else? Irrelevant. Noise, distraction. Think about the wealthiest, most famous people in the world. Many of them are miserable. Why? Because they mastered the external game but never mastered themselves. They accumulated everything and lost what mattered. Their peace, their integrity, their soul. Meanwhile, you have people with almost nothing who live with unshakable joy because they've mastered the one thing that matters, the mind. They've trained themselves to want what they have, to appreciate the present moment, to find richness in simplicity. This doesn't mean you stop having goals. It means you stop being enslaved by them. You work hard, yes. You build, you create, you achieve. But you don't attach your worth to the outcome. You don't make your happiness conditional on getting what you want, because the moment you do that, you've given your power away again. You've made your inner peace dependent on external circumstances, and that's a losing game. Here's the practice. Every time you feel a strong desire, pause. Ask yourself, is this desire leading me toward who I want to become? Or is it a distraction? Is this coming from my truth or from conditioning? Will having this genuinely serve my life? Or will it just create a temporary high followed by more emptiness? Most of the time, when you ask these questions honestly, the desire loses its grip. You see it for what it is, a phantom, a trick of the mind, and you let it pass. And here's what's amazing. When you stop chasing everything, when you master your desires instead of being mastered by them, you become magnetic. You attract opportunities because you're not desperate. You attract people because you're not needy. You attract success because you're focused on what actually matters instead of scattered across 1,000 meaningless wants. The universe responds to clarity, and nothing is clearer than a mind that knows what it wants and isn't distracted by everything else. Comment this below. I choose my desires. I am not controlled by them. Let that be your declaration, your line in the sand, the moment you take back control. Number 3, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You know what your biggest problem is? It's not that you don't know what to do. You know exactly what you need to do. You know you should wake up earlier, eat better, work harder, stay focused, be consistent. You know, but you don't do it. Why? Because you're waiting to feel motivated, waiting for inspiration, waiting for the perfect conditions. And while you're waiting, days turn into months, months turn into years, and your dreams stay exactly where they've always been. In your head, unrealized, unfulfilled, mocking you every time you think about them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do what is necessary, when it is necessary, with all your heart. Not when you feel like it. Not when it's convenient. When it's necessary. That's discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It's waking up when the alarm goes off, not hitting snooze 5 times. It's going to the gym when you're tired. It's working on your goals when Netflix is calling. It's choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort again and again and again until it becomes who you are. You see, motivation is a liar. It shows up when you don't need it and disappears when you do. It's unreliable, emotional, fleeting. But discipline is your foundation. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline is the promise you made to yourself, and you either keep it or you break it. And every time you break it, you lose a piece of yourself. You lose trust in your own word. You become someone who can't rely on themselves. And if you can't rely on yourself, who can you rely on? Think about the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That gap is filled with one thing: consistent action. Not perfect action. Not inspired action. Just action. Showing up. Doing the work. Even when it's boring. Even when it's hard. Even when nobody's watching. especially when nobody's watching, because that's when character is built. In the small, invisible moments when you choose discipline over comfort. Here's the truth about successful people that nobody tells you. They're not more talented than you. They're not luckier. They don't have some secret knowledge you don't have access to. What they have is discipline. They've built systems, routines, non-negotiables. They've removed the decision-making from the equation. They don't wake up and wonder if they should work out. They work out. They don't debate whether to work on their business. They work on it. It's automatic. It's who they are. And you can become that person. But it requires you to stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you'll start tomorrow. Stop making excuses about why now isn't the right time. Stop waiting for permission or perfect conditions or some external force to save you. You are the force. You are the change. And it starts with one decision, followed by another until discipline becomes your identity. I want you to understand something crucial. Every time you choose discipline, you're not just accomplishing a task. You're becoming someone new. You're rewiring your brain. You're proving to yourself that you're capable, that you're trustworthy, that you're the kind of person who does what they say they'll do. And that compounds. That builds momentum. That creates an unstoppable version of you that looks back at who you were and can't even recognize that person. But it starts now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when everything aligns. Now. What's one thing you know you should do today that you've been avoiding? Do it. Right after this video. No thinking. No negotiating. Just action. Because discipline isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in small, daily commitments that nobody sees but you. And those commitments become the foundation of everything you'll ever achieve. Type this below. I am disciplined. I do what must be done. Make it real. Make it yours. Number 4. Embrace discomfort as your greatest teacher. You want to know why you're stuck? Why you feel trapped in the same patterns, the same frustrations, the same life you keep saying you want to change? It's because you've built your entire existence around avoiding pain. You avoid difficult conversations. You avoid challenging workouts. You avoid taking risks. You avoid anything that makes you uncomfortable. And in doing so, you've created the most painful life possible. The pain of regret. The pain of unfulfilled potential. The pain of knowing you're capable of more, but never finding out how much more. The Stoics had a practice called voluntary discomfort. They would intentionally put themselves in uncomfortable situations to build resilience. Seneca would sleep on a hard floor. Marcus Aurelius would fast. Epictetus would expose himself to cold. Not because they were masochists, but because they understood something profound. Comfort is the enemy of growth. When you're comfortable, you're stagnant. You're not evolving. You're just existing in a bubble that gets smaller and smaller until it suffocates you. Every single thing you want in life exists outside your comfort zone. That relationship you dream about, it requires vulnerability, which is uncomfortable. That business you want to start, it requires risk, which is terrifying. That body you want, it requires pain in the gym and discipline in the kitchen. That confidence you want, it requires facing rejection and failure repeatedly until it doesn't faze you anymore. There's no way around it. Growth requires discomfort. Period. But here's what's beautiful. Here's what changes everything. When you embrace discomfort, when you actually lean into it instead of running away, something magical happens. You realize it won't kill you. You realize you're stronger than you thought. You realize that the fear was worse than the reality. And every time you do something uncomfortable, your capacity expands. What was terrifying yesterday becomes routine today. What felt impossible last month becomes your new normal this month. Think about your current limits, the things you tell yourself you can't do. Can't public speak, can't start a business, can't have that difficult conversation, can't wake up early, can't change. Those aren't real limits. Those are comfort zone boundaries that you've accepted as truth. But they're not truth. They're just the edge of your current experience. And the only way to expand that edge is to push against it, to do the thing that scares you, to voluntarily choose discomfort. Here's the practical application. Every single day, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Just one. It doesn't have to be huge. Cold shower, difficult workout, make that call you've been avoiding, have that honest conversation, post that content you're afraid to share, work on that project that feels too big. Just one thing. And watch what happens. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how your capacity expands. Watch how the things that used to paralyze you become things you barely think about. The average person spends their entire life running from discomfort and wondering why they feel so uncomfortable in their own skin. The Stoic runs toward discomfort and finds freedom on the other side. Because when you're no longer afraid of pain, when you've trained yourself to handle hardship, when you've proven to yourself that you can survive and even thrive in difficult situations, what can the world possibly do to you? Nothing. You become unbreakable, not because nothing bad happens to you, but because you've trained yourself to handle whatever comes. And let me tell you what happens when you live like this. Opportunities start appearing. Why? Because you're not hiding anymore. You're not playing small. You're putting yourself in situations where growth happens, where connections are made, where possibilities emerge. The person who never leaves their comfort zone sees the same things every day. The person who constantly expands their comfort zone discovers new worlds. So I challenge you right now. What's one thing you've been avoiding because it makes you uncomfortable? Name it, face it, and commit to doing it this week. Not thinking about it, not preparing for it endlessly, doing it, because the life you want is on the other side of that fear. The person you're meant to become is forged in that discomfort. Comment below, I choose growth over comfort. I embrace the struggle. Make that your mantra, your battle cry. Number 5, let go of what you cannot change, including the past. You're carrying ghosts. Everywhere you go, you're dragging the weight of things that no longer exist. Past failures, past rejections, past versions of yourself that you can't let go of. And it's destroying your present. You're so busy looking backward that you can't see the opportunities right in front of you. You're so obsessed with what went wrong that you're missing what could go right. And the cruel irony is that all of that mental and emotional energy you're spending on the past is completely useless. You can't change it. Not 1 second of it. It's done. Over. Finished. Epictetus taught his students a fundamental principle. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. In other words, reality is what it is. Your job isn't to resist it, to wish it were different, to torture yourself with how things should have been. Your job is to accept what is and move forward from there. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's power. Every minute you spend ruminating on the past is a minute stolen from building your future. Think about that. You have limited time on this earth, limited energy, limited attention, and you're giving it to things that don't exist anymore, to mistakes that are done, to relationships that ended, to opportunities you missed, while real, actual, present opportunities are slipping away because you're too consumed with what was to see what is. Here's what acceptance looks like. It doesn't mean you're okay with what happened. It doesn't mean you approve of it or agree with it. It means you stop fighting with reality. You stop the internal argument about how things should have been different. You acknowledge what happened, you extract whatever lesson there is to learn, and then you release it. You let it go. Because holding on to it serves no purpose except to keep you trapped in a moment that no longer exists. I know it's hard. I know there are things in your past that hurt, betrayals, losses, failures, moments you wish you could redo. But you can't. And the longer you hold on to them, the longer you give them power over your present. The person who wronged you years ago, they're living their life. They're not thinking about you, but you're still thinking about them. You're still letting them occupy space in your mind rent-free. You're still giving them power over your emotions, your decisions, your peace. That's insane. That has to stop. Here's the practice. When you notice yourself dwelling on the past, caught in that loop of regret or resentment, you interrupt the pattern. You literally say to yourself, "That was then. This is now. I cannot change what happened, but I can change what I do next." And then you redirect your focus to the present moment, to what you can control, to the action you can take right now that moves you forward. And here's something powerful. When you finally let go of the past, when you stop using it as an excuse or a crutch or a story you tell yourself about why you can't succeed, something opens up inside you. Energy that was trapped gets released. Clarity returns. You start seeing possibilities instead of limitations, because you're no longer viewing the present through the filter of past pain. You're experiencing it fresh, raw, full of potential. The same applies to the future, by the way. Stop torturing yourself with anxiety about things that haven't happened and might never happen. The future is just imagination. The past is just memory. The only thing that's real, the only thing you can actually touch and influence, is this moment, right now. And when you bring all of your energy, all of your focus, all of your power into this moment, everything changes. You become present, alive, responsive instead of reactive. You make better decisions because you're not clouded by past resentment or future anxiety. You build better relationships because you're actually there with people instead of lost in your head. You create better outcomes because you're focused on what you can do now, not paralyzed by what you did then or worried about what might happen later. Comment this truth. I release the past. I claim the present. I build the future. Say it like you mean it, because this is your liberation. Number 6, practice gratitude, even in hardship. You're living in abundance and you don't even see it. Right now, while you're worried about what you don't have, you're surrounded by miracles you've stopped noticing. You woke up this morning. Your heart is beating without you having to think about it. You can see, hear, breathe. You have access to knowledge that kings a century ago couldn't have dreamed of. You have opportunities that your ancestors would have considered impossible, but you're not grateful. You're focused on what's missing, on what's wrong, on what you wish were different. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, practiced gratitude daily, he would wake up and remind himself to be grateful for the people around him, for the challenges he faced, even for the difficult people he had to deal with, because they taught him patience. If the Emperor of Rome could find reasons to be grateful in the middle of war and political chaos, what's your excuse? Gratitude isn't just some positive thinking exercise. It's a weapon against misery. It's a practice that rewires your brain to see opportunity instead of obstacle, to see abundance instead of scarcity, to see growth instead of setback. And when you train yourself to be grateful, especially in difficult times, you become unstoppable, because you're no longer dependent on perfect circumstances to feel good. You're generating your own peace from within. Here's the thing about gratitude. It's not about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding the value in what is. It's about recognizing that even in hardship, there's something to learn, something to gain, some way you're being shaped into a stronger version of yourself. Lost your job? That's devastating. But it's also an opportunity to pivot, to find something better, to discover what you're really capable of. Relationship ended? That's painful. But it's also a chance to heal, to grow, to become whole on your own before you share your life with someone else. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate. Not just acceptance of what happens, but love for it. Seeing every event, good or bad, as necessary, as exactly what needed to happen to shape you into who you're meant to become. That's a radical shift. That's power. When you can look at your struggles and say thank you, when you can see the gift in the challenge, you become someone who can't be broken by circumstances. Start your day with gratitude. Before you check your phone, before you do anything else, think of 3 things you're grateful for, and make them specific. Not just, I'm grateful for my health, but I'm grateful that my legs work so I can walk, that my eyes work so I can see the sunrise, that I have the strength to face today's challenges. Feel it. Let it sink in. Let it shift your entire perspective before the world floods in with its problems and demands. And here's what's incredible. When you practice gratitude consistently, you attract more to be grateful for. Not through some magical law of attraction, but through simple psychology. When you're grateful, you're in a positive state. When you're in a positive state, you make better decisions. You treat people better. You see opportunities you would have missed. You create value instead of complaining about lack. And that compounds. That builds a life that actually is abundant. Not because circumstances are perfect, but because you've trained yourself to recognize and appreciate the abundance that's already there. Even in your darkest moments, there's light if you choose to look for it. The fact that you're still here means you're stronger than whatever tried to break you. The fact that you're watching this video means you're seeking growth. You're not giving up. You're still fighting. That's worth being grateful for. You're not done. You're not defeated. You're in the arena, and that alone is something to honor. Type this below. I am grateful for the struggle. It's making me stronger. Own that. Believe that. Live that. Number 7. Silence is power, so speak with intention. You talk too much. You post too much. You share too much. You're constantly broadcasting your thoughts, your plans, your opinions, your entire life to anyone who will listen. And in doing so, you're leaking your power. You're diluting your energy. You're seeking validation from people who don't matter and giving away the mystique that makes you magnetic. The Stoics understood something that modern society has completely forgotten. Silence is strength. Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But you do the opposite. You speak constantly, listening rarely, and wondering why you're not learning, not growing, not gaining wisdom. Every moment you spend talking is a moment you could spend observing, learning, strategizing. Every plan you announce is an energy you could be putting into actually executing it. Every opinion you broadcast is a position you've now committed to defending instead of remaining flexible enough to evolve. Think about the most powerful people you know. They don't say much. When they speak, people listen. Why? Because they've made their words valuable through scarcity. Because they don't waste energy on empty conversations, useless arguments, or constant updates about their lives. They move in silence. They build in private. They let their results speak for them. And when they finally do speak, it carries weight. It means something. Compare that to the person who announces every goal, every plan, every intention to anyone who will listen. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to change my life. And then what? Nothing. Because they got the dopamine hit from the announcement. They got the validation, the encouragement, the attention. And their brain registered that as accomplishment even though they haven't done anything yet. They talked about building, but they didn't build. They talked about changing, but they didn't change. They were all words and no action. Here's the power move. Stop announcing. Start executing. Let people discover your transformation after it's already happened. Let your results surprise them. Work in silence, and let success make the noise. When you do this, something profound happens. You stop seeking external validation because you're getting validation from the only source that matters, yourself. You're proving to yourself, in private, that you're capable, that you keep your word, that you're becoming who you said you'd become. And that builds unshakable confidence. Silence also protects you. When you don't broadcast your plans, you don't have to deal with other people's doubts, their projections, their negativity. You don't have to defend your vision to people who don't have vision. You don't have to explain yourself to people who wouldn't understand anyway. You just move, quietly, deliberately, powerfully. And by the time anyone notices, you're already so far ahead that their opinions are irrelevant. And when you do speak, speak with intention. Every word should serve a purpose. To teach, to connect, to solve a problem, to add value. Not to fill silence. Not to hear yourself talk. Not to prove how smart you are. The person who speaks just to speak is insecure, seeking validation. The person who speaks only when they have something valuable to say is confident, grounded, powerful. Practice this starting today. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this necessary? Does this add value? Or am I just filling space? Before you post something on social media, ask, why am I sharing this? Is it to genuinely help someone? Or is it to get likes? To get validation, to prove something to people I don't even know? Most of the time, when you ask these questions honestly, you'll choose silence, and that silence will give you back your power. Comment below, I move in silence. My results speak louder than words. Make that your new code, your new way of being. Number 8. Build your character in private. Prove it in public. Who are you when nobody's watching? That's the only question that matters. Not who you pretend to be on social media. Not the mask you wear at work. Not the version of yourself you present to impress others. Who are you in the quiet moments? When you're alone with your thoughts? When you face a choice between the easy wrong and the hard right, that's your character, and your character is your destiny. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Stop thinking about the person you want to become, and start being that person right now, in this moment, when no one is looking. Because that's where transformation actually happens. Not in the grand public moments. In the small private decisions that nobody sees but you. Every time you choose discipline over comfort when nobody's watching, you're building character. Every time you do the right thing, even though the wrong thing would be easier, you're building character. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're building character. And character is the foundation of everything. You can have talent without character, but you won't sustain success. You can have opportunity without character, but you'll sabotage it. You can have potential without character, but you'll never fulfill it. Character is what determines whether you rise or fall when pressure comes. Think about it like this. Your reputation is what people think about you. Your character is who you actually are. Most people spend all their energy managing their reputation, crafting their image, trying to control how others perceive them. But the Stoic focuses on character, because reputation is fragile. It can be destroyed by rumors, by mistakes, by things outside your control. But character is unshakable. Character is who you are in the dark. And when you've built solid character, when you've proven to yourself again and again that you're trustworthy, disciplined, honest, courageous, no external circumstance can take that away from you. Here's the daily practice. Every day, when you're alone, you face small tests. The alarm goes off. Do you get up or hit snooze? Nobody will know except you. You're at the store. Do you take the extra change the cashier accidentally gave you or return it? Nobody would find out except you. You're working from home. Do you actually work or do you pretend? Nobody's monitoring you except you. These small moments, these private decisions, this is where your character is forged. This is where you prove to yourself what kind of person you are. And here's what's powerful. When you've built your character in private, when you've proven to yourself over and over that you're the kind of person who does the right thing, who keeps their word, who stays disciplined, it shows. You can't hide that kind of integrity. It emanates from you. People sense it even if they can't articulate it. They trust you more. They respect you more. Opportunities come to you because people know you're solid. You attract the right people and repel the wrong ones because your character acts as a filter. But the real benefit isn't external. The real benefit is internal. When you've built character, you trust yourself. You respect yourself. You like the person you see in the mirror because you know who that person is when nobody else is looking. You don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to maintain a false image. You can just be, because who you are in private and who you are in public are the same person. And that alignment, that integrity, that wholeness, it's the foundation of real peace. So stop worrying so much about what people think and start focusing on who you're becoming. Stop managing your image and start building your substance. Stop looking for external validation and start earning your own respect. Because at the end of your life, when you look back, the only opinion that will matter is yours. Did you live with integrity? Did you become the person you were capable of becoming? Did you build character or just reputation? Comment this commitment. I build character daily. I am who I am in the dark. Let that be your pledge. Number 9. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Right now, you're facing something. Some problem, some challenge, some obstacle that feels overwhelming. And you're probably doing one of two things. Either you're avoiding it, pretending it doesn't exist, hoping it will somehow resolve itself, or you're drowning in it, consumed by how unfair it is, how difficult it is, how it shouldn't be happening to you. Both responses are giving your power away. Both are keeping you stuck, because you're seeing the obstacle as the enemy when it's actually the way forward. Marcus Aurelius gave us one of the most powerful principles in all of philosophy. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Read that again. The thing blocking your path is the path. The challenge you're facing isn't an interruption to your growth. It is your growth. Every obstacle is an opportunity to develop a skill, to build resilience, to discover what you're made of. But only if you choose to see it that way. Think about the struggles you've already overcome, the ones that felt impossible at the time. Look at who you became because of them. You're stronger now, wiser, more capable, not despite those challenges, but because of them. They forced you to grow. They revealed capacities you didn't know you had. They made you into someone who could handle what you're facing now. And what you're facing now is doing the same thing. It's forging you into someone who can handle what comes next. But here's where most people fail. They want growth without challenge. They want strength without struggle. They want the destination without the journey. And when obstacles appear, instead of seeing them as the training ground they are, they see them as proof that they're on the wrong path. So they quit, they pivot, they look for an easier route, and they never develop the strength that comes from pushing through, from finding solutions, from refusing to be defeated by circumstances. The Stoic approach is completely different. When an obstacle appears, you don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" You ask, "What is this teaching me?" You don't look for a way around it. You look for a way through it. Because on the other side of that obstacle is a stronger version of you. A version that can handle bigger challenges, bigger opportunities, a bigger life. Here's the practical application. Take the biggest problem you're facing right now, the one that's keeping you up at night. Now reframe it. What skill could this develop in you? What lesson could this teach? What strength could this build? If you got through this, who would you become? What would you be capable of? Suddenly, the obstacle isn't just a problem. It's a curriculum. It's life handing you exactly what you need to evolve into who you're meant to become. And here's something most people never realize. Your obstacles are often your biggest advantages in disguise. The difficulty you face that others don't. That's what makes you unique. That's what builds capabilities they'll never have. The limitation you're working around? That's forcing you to be creative, to find unconventional solutions, to develop approaches that will set you apart. The struggle you're enduring? That's building character and resilience that will carry you when others quit. Every successful person you admire has faced massive obstacles. That's not coincidence. That's cause and effect. The obstacles made them, shaped them, forced them to become someone capable of the success they achieved. You're looking at their results and thinking they were lucky. They're looking back at their obstacles knowing those obstacles were the price of admission to everything they built. So stop resenting your challenges. Stop wishing for an easier path. Stop waiting for circumstances to be perfect. The circumstances you have are perfect for forging you into who you need to become. The question is, will you let them? Will you use them? Or will you waste them by complaining, by avoiding, by wishing they were different? Type this below. My obstacles are my opportunities. I am being forged by fire. Claim it. Mean it. Let it transform how you see every challenge from this moment forward. Number 10. Remember death and live with urgency. You're going to die. I know you know that intellectually, but you don't really believe it. You live like you have infinite time. Like there's always tomorrow to start. Tomorrow to change. Tomorrow to become who you're meant to be. But tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow is the place where dreams go to die. Tomorrow is where you've been sending your potential for years while your life slips away one distracted day at a time. The Stoics practiced memento mori. Remember death. Not to be morbid, but to be awake. To recognize that every day you waste is a day you'll never get back. That every moment you spend on things that don't matter is a moment stolen from things that do. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by wealth and power, constantly reminded himself that he could leave life at any moment. Why? Because it gave him clarity. It made him value his time. It made him live with purpose instead of sleepwalking through his days. Right now, you're living like you have forever. You scroll mindlessly through social media for hours. You waste entire evenings on entertainment that you'll forget by tomorrow. You put off important conversations. You delay pursuing your dreams. You spend your days in jobs that drain you, relationships that don't serve you, habits that destroy you. And you tell yourself you'll change soon. Next week, next month, next year, when things calm down, when you're ready, when the time is right. But the time is now. It's always now. There is no other time. And every day that passes where you don't act, where you don't change, where you don't become more aligned with who you're meant to be, is a day you've traded your life for nothing. You exchanged your precious, limited time on this earth for comfort, for distraction, for the illusion of safety. And you can't get it back. Ever. Imagine you found out you only had 1 year left to live. How would you spend it? What would suddenly become important? What would you immediately stop wasting time on? Who would you reach out to? What would you forgive? What would you pursue with everything you have? Now, here's the truth that should shake you awake. You don't know how much time you have. It could be 50 years. It could be 50 days. You don't know. So why are you living like you have forever? This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up, to inject urgency into your veins, to remind you that this moment right now is all you have. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. But right now, in this moment, you can make a choice. You can continue sleepwalking through your life, or you can wake up. You can keep making excuses, or you can take action. You can keep being who you've always been, or you can start becoming who you're meant to be. The Stoics understood that awareness of death doesn't make life meaningless. It makes life precious. When you truly internalize that your time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop tolerating toxic relationships. You stop settling for a life that doesn't fulfill you. You stop putting off your dreams. You stop hiding. You step into the arena and you give everything you have to the time you have left, however much or little that may be. Here's what living with memento mori looks like. Every morning, you wake up and remind yourself, I am alive today. I don't know if I'll be alive tomorrow. So today matters. Today counts. What I do with these hours will either move me closer to who I want to become or further away. There's no neutral. Every choice is a vote for the person you're becoming. And you ask yourself, if this was my last day, would I be proud of how I spent it? Would I be proud of who I was? If the answer is no, you change. Immediately. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. And this awareness doesn't make you reckless. It makes you intentional. It makes you value relationships more deeply because you know they won't last forever. It makes you pursue your goals with urgency because you know time is running out. It makes you appreciate simple moments because you know there's a finite number of them left. It makes you brave because what's the point of fear when you're going to die anyway? It makes you free because what does any of this external stuff matter when you could leave at any moment? So I'm asking you directly, what are you waiting for? What dream are you putting off? What conversation do you need to have? What change do you need to make? What version of yourself have you been too scared to become? Because I promise you, when you're at the end of your life, you won't regret the things you tried and failed at. You'll regret the things you never tried, the risks you never took, the person you never allowed yourself to become because you were too afraid, too comfortable, too convinced you had more time. You don't have more time. You have now. And now is slipping away while you hesitate, while you plan, while you wait for perfect conditions that will never come. The Stoics lived with the awareness of death, not as a burden, but as liberation, as permission to stop wasting their lives on things that don't matter and start investing it in things that do, as courage to face their fears, because what's the worst that could happen when death is coming anyway? As clarity about what actually matters when you strip away everything superficial and temporary. Type this final truth below. My time is limited. I will not waste another day. I choose to live now. Let that be your awakening, your declaration, your commitment to stop postponing your life and start living it with everything you have. You've just learned 10 Stoic rules that have the power to completely transform your reality. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. Just another video you watched, another moment of inspiration that fades by tomorrow. The Stoics didn't philosophize for the sake of philosophy. They lived these principles. They tested them in the real world, in war, in leadership, in suffering, in joy. And they proved that these aren't just nice ideas. They're weapons, tools, a code for living with power, purpose, and unshakable inner strength. So now you have a choice. You can close this video and go back to your comfortable patterns, your familiar struggles, your safe mediocrity. You can let these words fade like every other motivational message you've consumed and forgotten. Or you can decide that this is the moment. This is where it changes. This is where you stop being who you've been and start becoming who you're capable of being. Everything you want, everything you've been searching for, it's not out there. It's inside you. It's always been inside you, buried under years of conditioning, fear, and distraction. But it's there, that warrior spirit, that discipline, that courage, that unbreakable core that can handle whatever life throws at you. And these 10 rules, they're the tools to excavate it, to bring it to the surface, to let it guide your life instead of your fears, your doubts, your comfort-seeking patterns. Control what you can control and release what you can't. Master your desires instead of being enslaved by them. Build discipline as the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Embrace discomfort as your greatest teacher. Let go of the past that no longer serves you. Practice gratitude even in hardship. Move in silence and let your results speak. Build character in private and prove it in public. Turn every obstacle into an opportunity. And remember death, so you live with the urgency and intention your limited time demands. These aren't just principles, they're a way of life, a path walked by the strongest minds in history. And now, that path is yours, but only if you walk it. Only if you take what you've learned here and apply it to the messy, difficult, beautiful reality of your actual life. Starting today, starting now, starting with the very next choice you make. Marcus Aurelius, on his deathbed, weak from illness, still practicing his philosophy until his final breath, left us with this: confine yourself to the present. Not the past you can't change, not the future you can't control. The present, this moment, where all your power lives, where transformation happens, where the person you're becoming is born from the choices you make right now. So make the choice. Decide that you're done being a passenger in your own life. Decide that you're ready to master yourself, to build the discipline, to face the discomfort, to release the past, to embrace the obstacles, to live with gratitude and urgency and purpose. Decide that you're ready to become a Stoic, not perfect, not fearless, but unbreakable, present, aligned with what matters. Comment below which of these 10 rules hit you the hardest. Which one do you need to focus on most? Share your truth, your struggle, your commitment, because when you declare it publicly, you make it real. You make it a promise not just to me, not just to others watching, but to yourself. And that's where the transformation begins, in the space between intention and commitment, between knowing and doing, between who you were and who you're becoming. If this message resonated with you, if these ancient words woke something up inside you that's been sleeping too long, then share this video. Send it to someone who needs to hear it, someone who's struggling, someone who's searching, someone who's ready to change but doesn't know where to start. And subscribe to this channel, because this is just the beginning. This is a community of people who refuse to accept mediocrity, who are committed to growth, who understand that the path of the Stoic is the path of the warrior. It's not easy, but it's real, and it's worth it. Remember, you don't have forever. You have today. You have this moment. You have this breath. And what you do with it determines who you become. The Stoics understood that life isn't about waiting for better circumstances. It's about becoming the kind of person who can create them, who can handle them, who can thrive in them regardless of what happens externally, because you've built something internally that can't be shaken. So walk this path. Live these principles. Test them. Prove them to yourself. And watch as everything changes. Not because the world changes, because you change. And when you change, when you become disciplined, present, resilient, grateful, intentional, the world has no choice but to respond differently to you. Opportunities appear, relationships deepen, success becomes inevitable, because you've become the kind of person success is attracted to. This is your time, your moment, your chance to stop living by default and start living by design. The ancient Stoics are speaking to you across thousands of years, and their message is simple. You are capable of so much more than you've shown. Stop hiding. Stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Step into your power. Become who you were meant to be. The world needs more people who have mastered themselves, who live with integrity, who face life with courage and wisdom. Be one of them. Type below, I am a Stoic warrior. I choose discipline, courage, and growth every single day. Now close this video and prove it. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Take one action aligned with who you're becoming. One choice that honors these principles. One step toward the life you know you're capable of living. Because that's how transformation happens. Not in grand gestures, but in small, consistent, committed actions that compound into an entirely new reality. Thank you for being here, for listening, for being willing to grow. Now go, walk the path, live the philosophy, become the Stoic. Your greatest life is waiting on the other side of your discipline. Go claim it.